Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 18th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Got through another day and happy to do it. Happy to see it. Let's see here. Work was a tad annoying. I had like one of those situations where it's like it's still more or less slow in the warehouse, but we had like a little bit of a backup in cardboard for whatever X reason. And like the way that the bitching and moaning happens is like it starts literally on like the top floors of my warehouse and literally will trickle down to me. And like I just had like, someone coming up to me asking a bunch of dumb questions they didn't need to ask me, and I just kind of was like, you're gonna get what you get when you get it. More or less. Sadly, yeah, I've definitely become like just an ogre person. I'm literally just Shrek sometimes, but it is what it is. Overall, it was a good day. I shouldn't complain. But something I have to complain about. This was the worst food corner I might ever bring to you. I hope this is a bad one. It was so terrible. So, flashback to when I was at the grocery store last weekend. I I was going through the frozen aisle and I saw this thing, and it was a cornbread casserole, which sounds crazy. Like that just sounds wild, right? But it looked like okay. I'm not a big corn person. I don't digest it well, if you know what I mean. But I was like, this looks okay. Like, all right, let's give it a go. So I pick it up, but honestly, I'll tell you, I was having second thoughts, like as I was like, going to checkout, and I was about to put it up, and then as I'm going back through the frozen aisle, I see another Marie Calendar item, and it was a shepherd's pie. And this like evoked a memory for me, and bear with me, I know we're not even to the news yet. I'm sorry, but it was me a week or so ago, late night, watching some YouTube, and I'm watching Penguin Z, Charlie, Moist Critical, whatever, and he was doing like food reviews on Gordon Ramsay's TV dinners, and like I don't know, it was like Inception or something, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try these two out instead of putting up this one weird idea casserole thing. I'm gonna try both of them together in tandem. It's gonna be fine. It was not fine. It was terrible. So I go to read the boxes. I like to try to bake them if I can, but they were saying for the shepherd's pie, this little ass fucking rinky dink thing, it was gonna be like an hour, and I was like, hell no, I'll just fucking microwave it for like 9 minutes, fine. And then for the sweet potato, or not sweet potato, the cornbread casserole, it's supposed to be 4 minutes or 35 minutes in the oven. I guess I should have done that option, but whatever. I run them both in the microwave, and I pull them out. By the time they're both done, one like the casserole looks like porridge. It doesn't look anything like the box. I'm like doing double takes. Like, what's wrong here? What has happened? And I'm looking at it. It just has the consistency of mush. It's nowhere near. And then meanwhile, the shepherd's pie is just like the rinkiest amount of food for shepherd's pie, and like it doesn't even feel like the bottom of a bowl. It was rough. It was terrible. But I did eat the shepherd's pie. We can say that that was edible. But the cornbread casserole, never, never, ever do that. Don't get that. Don't make my mistake. There's just never a reality where that's going to be cooked or good. So needless to say, I finished the shepherd's pie. Had to cover it in like hot sauce and sriracha, but we got through it. And then I just said, fuck it. Let's just have some hummus and some pita chips and pretzel chips, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's just do that because I need to have like a semblance of a full meal. You know what I mean? I'm a big boy. But yeah, that was my trauma that I'm sharing with you. Needless to say, do not invest in Marie Calendar. I think I am officially boycotting that one, that brand. Ick, Tomato Town. Y'all could use them tomatoes for flavor. Fuck, goddamn. Okay, so I'm glad I got that off my chest. Let me do my startup, and then we'll get into some real news, real world issues. Ooh. From the BBC, Pakistan launches retaliatory strikes into Iran, killing 9 people. So, kind of throwing us right into the middle of the story here, but hopefully I can catch us up. Pakistan has launched missile strikes into Iran, killing 9 people after Iran carried out strikes in Pakistan late on Tuesday. Pakistan said it had hit terrorist hideouts in Iran's southern eastern Sistan Baluchistan province. Iran condemned the attack, which it said killed 3 women, 2 men, and 4 children who were not Iranian. The country's foreign ministry later said it was committed to good neighborly relations with Pakistan. However, it called on Islamabad to prevent the establishment of bases and armed terrorist groups on its soil. The reciprocal attacks come as tensions in the Middle East are high, with several overlapping crises. We've covered, as many of them as I can on this. But, post the attacks on Iraq and Syria from Iran, I think on Tuesday, they did a strike on Pakistan, saying they were aiming for a group that had, been causing them trouble in an area. And I think they killed 2 women or 2 children. I think it was 2 children. So this was a response from Pakistan to that. Just kind of further escalating things in just the overall Middle Eastern region. But I mean, as most things, it's definitely complicated, and no one exactly knows what are the full motivations and reasonings. But we're trying to do our best to get to the bottom of it, right? But Pakistan has had fiercely condemned Iran's strike on Tuesday, which struck an area of Pakistan's I cannot pronounce this, Balochistan province near the Iranian border, and which Islamabad said killed two children. So there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely an escalation in tensions. We're not sure if this is Iran flexing its muscles and then just like Pakistan saying, hey, we got to clap back because you struck at us. We got to strike at you. In terms of if it's Iran flexing its muscles, there's another thing that people are saying, well, it's like the targets that they've been hitting, I think especially kind of from this attack on Pakistan, kind of show that it's like, hey, if we wanted to, let's change the location. We could hit Israel if we wanted to. Like we are showing this kind of by example, kind of proof of concept, if you will. So, I think that there's more talk in that direction, but really it doesn't seem like anyone knows exactly what is the pinpoint exact reason. If this is just one big retaliation from Iran that is now has a retaliation back on them, who knows? But, I definitely wanted to bring it up to talk about it. Let's see here. Another update I wanted to talk about from Click on Detroit. What we know about timeline of Samantha Woll's Detroit murder. So this is a pretty big update that I found. Prosecutors on Tuesday began laying out the timeline related to the fatal attack of Samantha Woll, a well-known Detroit synagogue president, during a preliminary hearing for the man accused in her death. Michael Jackson Bolanos, 28, has been charged with murder, among other crimes, in connection with the October 21st, 2023, stabbing death of Woll at her Detroit home. Officials say Woll was attacked inside her Lafayette Park home in Detroit after returning home from a wedding in the early morning hours. So yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like with the use of technology and, strong forensic work and, just heavy investigation, they were able to more or less scope the whole timeline of Woll and Jackson and how they kind of interacted via their cell phones. And not like texting, but like pings from cell phone towers. So they were able to piece together a timeline here, which they lay out. I'm not really going to go through the whole minutia of that. But it also leads in on them finding Samantha's jacket, which is like a key piece of evidence. So yeah, I mean, this is all kind of culminated in Jackson Bolanos' arrest. I'm at least glad that we have, a face and a name to the crime, to the situation. I know that we initially covered this thinking that this was, an act of anti-Semitism, a kind of hate crime. It does look like it was a home invasion. Not that makes the death any easier to stomach or take, obviously my condolences to the family, but it is something that at least is a step towards getting an answer and a step towards getting at least some semblance of closure here. And I just wanted to put a notch in the story and cover that. I know this is just a preliminary trial, so we'll definitely keep it moving. Maybe wait until we get to a verdict of some sort. But yeah, I mean, it's big news, big revelation I wanted to cover. Let's see here. Moving on to the next bump from USA Today. YouTube cult, naked meditation, and a convicted child molester linked to 6 disappearances. When Cartisha Morgan's daughter said she was going on a spiritual journey, she was initially supportive. But troubling signs soon appeared, especially when Michaela Wickerson, 25, distanced herself and her 3-year-old daughter, Malaya, from the rest of her family. A decision Morgan said was unlike anything her daughter had ever done. She was so different, Morgan told USA Today. I didn't understand. Although she grew increasingly concerned, Morgan could have never have known what they were caught up in. Police say Michaela and Malia have vanished, swallowed up with 4 other people in a spiritual cult. Authorities are investigating the disappearances, the suspected cult, and possible ties to murders in other states, Missouri police say. Berkeley Police Major Steve Runge told USA Today he hopes spreading the word will help authorities find them missing, alive, and well. Obviously, that's what we're hoping for as well. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that, another thing that caught me here too is that a lot of the story seems to be like very centered in Missouri, St. Louis area. So that, gets my attention, being that's like my birthplace, where I'm from. So there's that tie, but just it's sad. It doesn't matter who it is. Like whenever you see someone caught up in a cult, like it is a very interesting and fascinating thing to cover. But naturally, it's just like, and it's a fascinating thing to like get yourself wrapped into. You know what I mean? As someone who used to be religious, I get the appeal, I get the allure, and but obviously it can just have very much tragic outcomes, and it almost feels like what people think quicksand is. It's just you just get stuck in it, and next thing you know, there's just no escaping it. There's no way out of it, and no one can really reach you and get to you. But let me read some more. In addition to the Wickersons, that includes 24-year-old Michaela Thompson of St. Louis, 27-year-old Jeriel German, and 3-year-old Ashton Mitchell of Lake Horn, Mississippi, and 29-year-old Naman Williams of Washington, D.C. They were last seen at a Quality Inn in St. Louis in August. Now, let me read a little bit further ahead. The adults are believed to be followers of Rashad Jamal, a convicted child molester who leads the University of Cosmic Intelligence. Police describe the group as a spiritual cult, which has about 200,000 subscribers on its YouTube channel and tens of thousands more across other platforms. That's heavy. That's a lot of fucking reach. Just a quick scatter shot from what I've kind of researched on Jamal. It's not much information. I've just got my little toe in, but it seems like he's like had like a bit of like a musical career or something like that, which kind of maybe adds to like why he had such a reach to begin with. Like it automatically kind of establishes you as a platform if people think you're like, oh, this is like a hotshot rapper, and then like you would think you'd be turned away from those like. The whole conviction. Because that's the thing that's crazy to me. Usually, you're going to think and hear the story and think, well, this guy's already out and about, right? But no, this guy is already serving 18 years for the child molestation shit. So that means he's operating this shit like as if it's like a gang leader would operate shit from like a prison. Like these people are communicating with him, via social media, what have you, and they're just taking directive from him. But they interview him I think the St. Louis Dispatch does an interview with him, and essentially he's like, I don't know these people at all. I haven't interacted with them. I don't know them. And like, we aren't in communication. So he's essentially just washing his hands of it, saying, I don't know what's up. But it does seem like he's running this shit from behind the scenes, and that's crazy. That's some dark ass fucking shit. There's a thing that they run through, like the red flags of a cult. Let's see. The behaviors Wickerson's mother described tracks excuse me, with what authorities have seen from other followers of Jamal. Berkeley police said adherents have quit their jobs, changed their names to a spiritual god or goddess, and disconnected from families. So yeah, let's just go through some of these red flags. Living off of credit cards, going off the grid, a total disconnection from cell phones or social media, embracing sovereign citizenship, which is that's a big red flag. If you have anyone spouting sovereign citizenship like literature at you, that is no longer your friend anymore. That is a rogue agent, okay? And look, I'm against the state as much as any other guy, you know what I mean? Any free radical, if you will. But like, come on now, this is some off the Richter shit where you're like saying, hey, I know I live here in the confines of this society, but I'm actually not of this society, okay? So please give me my latte and like don't try to control me. Like you just can't have it both ways. I could go on a whole tangent about sovereign citizenship, but let's move on to the other thing. Polygamy is often cited as a red flag. Okay, whatever. I say free love, but I can understand, obviously, that this is used as a manipulation tactic. Strange behavior such as meditating nude in front and backyards with neighbors present. That's kind of part of the picture I have there, though I think they are clothed there. I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to get clapped on social media. But yeah, that's not good. You gotta be careful with that. You don't want to have that out and about. Backyard's fine if you want to do your naked meditation, your little nude yoga. That's cool, but maybe not in the front yard. That's a bit of a citation, a problem. Referring to their mother as a shell that brought their spirit into the universe. Now that one is a big one, because it's definitely a manipulation tactic where you see where it's just like, and also with the whole off the grid thing where you turn something that I think people kind of feel like they want to do anyway because you're just so bogged down with technology and like how social media can move and be. You just want to be off of that shit. But like that can be used as a thing to be like, well, you can be now isolated, and people can manipulate that kind of energy. And I think especially with like Michaela's situation, hopefully I'm tracing the name right there, but like with her and her kid, like she was going through like postpartum depression, it's believed. So like you could become way more vulnerable in those kind of moments. And I think that Jamal really took advantage of this. Also, he has a bit of an affinity hustle that's kind of baked into his spiel, which I want to get into. In the University of Cosmic Intelligence videos, Jamal says Black and Latino people are gods and goddesses, while people of other races and ethnicities are not originally from this planet. He also claims that the weather is being controlled by weather machines disguised as 5G towers, and that elite families are presidents and reptilian shapeshifters who actually eat the blood of the gods. So, I mean, that's really fun to yap about with your conspiracy QAnon friends, I guess, but like, when you actually are saying this shit in like a real religion, come on now. But you do this shit because, like, once again, if I can make you believe it and you believe it, guess what? You can tell this shit to anyone and everyone and no one's going to believe you because they're going to think you're crazy. And then you're going to feel crazy and not fuck with those people anymore. And guess who you're going to run back to? Mr. Jamal, Lord Jamal, God Jamal. So these kind of things, they sound silly and crazy, but if you can kind of slip them in on people over time and they actually start sipping on it, they actually start ingesting this material and they take it and believe it, then you can hook them. You're hooking them for life. And literally these guys and gals were going cross-state, going cross-country, I should say, picking up each other, going on runs. They have children. You know what I mean? But they have eschewed their life as they know it and are now a part of this University of Cosmic Intelligence. And, I'm scared. I'm very fearful here. And you know what I mean? Especially when we're talking about people of color. These are the people that, like, I'm lucky I found this article and that I'm able to talk about it right now, because I know come next week this isn't gonna be in the main headlines. You know what I mean? Like, these are people who are here today, gone tomorrow, no one thinks twice about. So I really want to try to boost this, talk about this shit, and hopefully we find these people. Hopefully they can get some help. Hopefully no one has died. Like, the murder part too, that's another thing that's not really covered in this article, but like, that's a whole other fucking thing. So yeah, some dark shit. I know we're kind of dwelling on this a bit here, but yeah, just wanted to talk about that, cover that shit. All right, we have one more thing to cover. It's super light, should be short. I'll let you go after that. But let me take my break, and we'll get into it real quick. Yummy. From CNN, Congress passes short-term funding extension, averting government shutdown ahead of Friday deadline. Ooh. Bear with me, y'all. I'm coming out of the fog, coming through the darkness. Hiya. Okay. Congress passed a short-term funding extension Thursday, averting a partial government shutdown at the end of the week after lawmakers raced the clock ahead of a key Friday deadline. I'm so sick of these motherfuckers pretending like they're actually fucking doing a job when really they're just kicking a can. So, yeah, I mean, this is short term. Of course, we haven't tackled any of the issues that both sides are clamoring over, immigration, military spending, all this fucking shit. Like, whoa, we gotta fund all these wars. Who's gonna fund these wars? Who's gonna keep people out? Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, essentially now the new deadlines are March 1st and March 8th. I mean, we'll see if look. I know I do not want to see a shutdown, period. I remember when I first started covering this shit, I was scared. I had anxiety. I was like, oh my God. But now I realize I feel like I'm old hat now. Like, this is just Congress. This is Congress being Congress. There are instances where they've done it and it has been bad and it's put egg on their faces, either Republican and or Democrat. But they do come around. They do realize that, hey, people can't work for free. We have to keep the government fucking operational. We have to fucking keep the fucking shit moving, okay? So, yeah, that happened. That's a thing. And that's the episode. There we go. We'll leave it there. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, you can become a newsie today via Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. I shout you out at the top of the month. Plug a project if you like. Feel free to send feedback via email, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Follow me or the podcast on the socials. Hit me up. I'll say whatever. I'll say hi. What's up? How are you? Unless you're mean, then maybe I won't. But also, hopefully, if you're a nice guy, gal, MB, whoever, hopefully you're subscribed to the YouTube. It really helps out a lot. It really means a lot to me. It helps out those algorithms. Also, it helps out the algorithms. Cool, nice comments. Thumbs up. All those things. Also, I appreciate people who share it. I've noticed that that's a thing that people have done. And I literally, my eyes roll in the back of my head thinking that, holy spumoni, that means people are moving my shit. Thank you. That's real newsy behavior. You do that shit for the free. I salute you. I'm shooting heart emojis through the microphone at you. Thank you so much. It really does mean, and it means the most to me. Actually, money means a lot, okay? We live in a capitalist society, if you know what I mean. Anyway, okay, that's it. That's all I have. That's the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.